Hi there, my name is Tom Bell and welcome to my 5 Minute Friday videocast on the 16th of May, isn't it? Wow. So I'm an author, I'm a consultant, I'm an educator, I'm a speaker and a trainer. And today I'm going to look at NHS management and leadership. Be still your beating heart, I hear you say. What got me going this week, honestly? I mean, where to begin? Right, so I'll tell you what got me going this week. I'm looking on LinkedIn, as I do. Generally use it a lot. Brilliant tool. And I see this person within, I'm not going to name names, but within NHS management circles, this person, right, likens themselves, their role as a manager, to a Formula One pit stop team, right? Equipping clinicians, to quickly move on, stop at the pit stop, in and out, everything's professional and brilliant. And I'm just thinking, what planet are you on? So then I look at the profile, right? So they put this comment on saying, isn't it a shame that NHS England is going to be, lost and we're going to lose management capacity and we're going to lose managers? And by the way, I don't think patients will notice and most staff will actually be incredibly grateful. When I say staff, I mean the value-adding staff, the clinical staff, the patient-facing staff. They'll be incredibly grateful for less management. Let's let them get on and do the jobs that we pay them to do, yeah? And that we should trust them to do. And then this profile says, well, they've been in the NHS for 30 years, right? You start to think, don't you? So you've been in there for 30 years. You kind of watched it decline, right? We're now at the point where for the first time in the NHS's history, the health secretary has stood up and said, the NHS is broken. Yeah, down but not out. Okay, yeah, broken. And there's some honesty, at least, in that debate. Where that goes in terms of, where it leads into privatisation, etc., that's another story. But at least there's some honesty in that debate. The health secretary isn't saying, oh, it's doing spiffingly, yes, it's just that you guys don't know it. They're actually saying, look, it's broken. We acknowledge that. Great. Public trust in the NHS is at an all-time low. Waiting lists are high. Services are stretched. Recruitment and retention is a massive issue. Finances are up the spout. We all get that. You've been in it 30 years, and now you're saying that you're a great manager and that you and your colleagues are great managers, likening yourselves to an F1 pit stop team. You've got to wonder, where do they find these people? The problem is, if you've been in it 30 years, right, you've nothing to compare and contrast with. You don't know what good looks like. So you're living in this bubble. I don't mind the fact that you're living in a bubble, but be honest about it. You've nothing to compare what good looks like. This same profile, it says, they're passionate about digital innovation and digital change. Passionate. I see that on so many public sector profiles. I'm passionate about. Great. What do you want, a medal? Passion doesn't pay the bills and deliver results. It can help, sure. But is that enough? Is it good enough that we, the public purse, should just pay you for being passionate about digital change? When I worked for Carlsberg, I spent 5 years in Carlsberg, during which time, not due to me, I should say, but during which time they were in the midst of implementing a global IT system, changes on a global scale, right? This is a big company, thousands and thousands of product lines, lots and lots of supply chains. It's not a simple business. People go, oh, well, healthcare's complex, Tom. Oh, it must be more complicated than selling beer. Thousands and thousands, of KPIs, stocking units, blah, 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 operating in 130 countries, language barriers, you name it, implemented an IT system globally, successfully. That's the private sector. The private sector judges itself on what it achieves, not what it talks about, not what it's passionate about, And yet the NHS still, after 25 years of trying and around about £15 billion pissed up against the wall, doesn't have a good joined-up IT system. But it's okay to say that you're passionate about digital change, because that's fine. Because we'll just continue to pay your wages, generally pretty good wages, because you're passionate about something. I mean, this is utter nonsense, isn't it? And it's not, by the way, that these are bad people. If they were allowed to be, they'd be good. They could be excellent in the right circumstances. It's just that the system doesn't facilitate it. It doesn't allow it. So it's not when we pull up managers, who, by the way, we should be able to pull up because they are paid for by the public purse. When we pull up managers up on their performance in public services, directors, leaders, you name it, governors, non-exec directs, blah, 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 that's fine. We should be allowed to do that. And it shouldn't be taken as personal. These are observations, because actually we are the equivalent of your shareholders, And we're telling you that actually right now, you ain't that good, folks, right? Some of you might want to shine. Some of you might have the ability to shine, but you sure ain't shining right now. Let's take another one here. I know I've hit my 5 minutes, but this is going to make you chuckle. Got this guy here, right? Now, I actually worked with this chap alongside this chap, and I got to tell you that none of his colleagues described him in these terms. A gifted leader within the NHS. A gifted leader within the NHS. That's on his LinkedIn profile, yeah? What does that even mean? Who thinks he's gifted other than him? Because nobody I work with and who works with him has ever thought that. Patients haven't thought that. And again, working in the digital sector of the NHS, I'm not sure anybody gifted particularly is working in that sector, but that's maybe a conversation for another day. It's this, I guess what drives me nuts is it's this self-delusion of performance that we have to live with in the private sector. And yes, it's not perfect. I know that. And I've said it time and time again, but the market judges, the customers judge, yeah? There's something there to judge you outside of your own organization. In the public sector, that just seems to me to be missing. And it allows, unfortunately, poor managers and poor management to continue. Because where else are you going to go? Who else is going to pay you that much to do that little? On that note, I've exceeded my 5 minutes. Forgive that slightly rantiness, but I feel so much better for it. Have a great weekend. I hope the sun continues to shine. Stay safe, stay solvent, stay sane if you can. Ciao.